When there's a conflict, you sometimes blur things out that you do not mean, like you never take me into consideration, or what a ridiculous suggestion. Can't you do anything right? Of course, these kinds of rants don't help any situation. I ask expert in face-to-face communication Frederik Imbo how to deal with the conflict constructively so both parties win. Hi Frederik, welcome in the studio.
Hello, Kevin.
How do you deal with conflicts?
Yes, this is the 1 million question. Of course, because conflicts are attached to emotions, and how contradictory it may seem, I think it's really very important to not take conflicts personally and to remain calm, because of course it's not easy. The other person is maybe saying something to you that is really feeling very uncomfortably, like well, you're always very selfish and it's always the same with you. Can you imagine then you feel already a bit attacked by the other person?
But how do you do that then? Not feeling attacked by the other person?
While the other one is attacking you, not feeling attacked. Well, first of all, I think you should think about what the other person is saying to you. Instead of taking it personally, you should think, well, actually, why is the other person saying what he or she is saying? Because some people tell me, well, it's impossible. The feelings that I feel then are stronger than myself. Do you recognize that feeling?
Yeah, I recognize it.
Actually, you do not have to be stronger than what you feel. You need to be more clever than what you feel. You need to be more intelligent than what you feel.
How do you do that?
Well, first let me compare this to, do you have a car?
Yeah, I do.
Are you stronger than your car?
No.
I don't really think so. You don't need to be stronger than your car. I think you need to be more clever than your car, right? Well, it's exactly the same with feelings. You do not have to be stronger than your feelings. You need to be more clever than your feelings. The question is, who's at the steering wheel? Who's thinking what he's thinking? For example, the other person says to you, well, you're very selfish. Instead of reacting out of emotion, first of all, think about what the other one is saying. Why is he saying what he's saying? What happened exactly? What did I do that triggered the other person's emotion? Secondly, what do you think that the other person is needing? What is his need behind what he is saying?
And what about asking it to the other person?
Exactly. You could ask. Normally, we are not asking it. We are just defending ourselves. And we should ask. We should say, hey, I see that you're angry. What's up? What did I do that makes you so angry? And believe me, if you really ask that question out of honesty and out of interest, the other one will really answer. For example, he might say, well, it's always the same with you. You know, you always take the last coffee and you never fill in some coffee beans. And I'm really fed up with that. So if you listen to what the other person said, you discover that actually it has nothing to do with yourself. You didn't do something wrong. Actually, the other person just feels what he feels because he has an unmet need. He has a need for taking each other into account, in this case, and by asking it, you get into contact with one another, and it's the really first step, the really very first step to get a connection with what the other person would like to have with you, because we don't want to be right, we actually want in conflicts to have a connection. And that is really exactly what a giraffe would do in communication.
A giraffe?
Yes, a giraffe. Because if you deal with conflicts, actually, there are two parts of us that can be at the steering wheel. It can be or the jackal or the giraffe. Let's first talk about that strange animal, the jackal. A jackal is that part in all of us that wants to be right, that is criticizing the other person, that is judging the other person. It's always the same with you, and he really wants to be right. Me, myself,
and I.
Me, myself, and I, indeed. An eye for an eye.
A tooth for a tooth.
A tooth for a tooth, exactly. But actually, Gandhi said something else. Gandhi said not an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. He said an eye for an eye makes the whole world blind. So this means if I attack you as a jackal, you will certainly attack me as well. If I say to you, hey, Kevin, thank you, I had to be here at 9 o'clock and you let me wait for 1.5 hours, it's always the same with you. What will be your reaction in that case?
Well, we had some trouble with previous recordings, and it just took some time longer.
Exactly. You will defend yourself or attacking me back, and so it will not lead to any connection. It will lead to big trouble. Right. So I need to be more clever than that, and I need to say, instead of you have to and you are message, I need to change my message from a jackal message to a giraffe message.
Yeah.
Here, the
And
wonderful.
how does that sound like?
The giraffe message would sound, Kevin. To be honest, I'm a bit frustrated. You asked me to be here at 9 o'clock. I was here at 9 o'clock, and I had to wait for 1.5 hours. I have a very tight agenda. It would really be very nice if you could take me into account a bit more and let me know why I had to wait such a long time, because I really have a very strong need for efficiency.
Yeah, that gives me some empathy for your situation.
Exactly, the wonderful word empathy. I think if everyone would have a bit more the skill of empathy, I think there would be much more connection between people and very less tensions than we had before. Did you know why they chose
No, I just wanted to ask, why a giraffe?
Exactly, the giraffe is the animal on Earth with the biggest heart.
Okay.
Okay, the elephant has a bigger heart, but do you know how big a giraffe's heart
No
is?
idea,
Actually,
honestly.
11 kilograms.
Oh, wow.
That's
Yeah,
amazing. That's more
impressive.
than a bucket of water. So it means that the giraffe, kind of a symbol, of course, to show that we can get into one another's connection from the heart, not from ego to ego as a jackal, but from the heart. And he's empathically listening to what the other person feels by asking, hey, I have the impression that you're fed up because I never fill the coffee beans. Would you like me to take you a bit more into account? By asking it, what the other person is feeling and needing, and also, secondly, by saying what is alive in myself. By saying, like I showed you with iMessages, I don't like that, or I feel angry or disappointed because I have a need for X or Y. So this is what the giraffe is doing. And it's not bad as well, because you, as a giraffe, you make sure that you are not making the other person bankrupt.
Bankrupt?
Bankrupt. What has bankrupt to do with conflict?
Yeah.
Did you know, Kevin, that every time you get into contact with one another, every time again, you are putting money, emotional money, saying on the emotional bank account of the other person?
Okay.
If I, for example, if I'm always judging you and I say, hey, it's always the same with you, I try to do my best and you never give me positive feedback, I'm fed up. You know what? You can do it yourself. When I speak like that, I'm taking money out of your bank account. I'm stealing it from your bank account. And one day you're really fed up with that, and I do not get anything done by you because you have no more money.
I'm bankrupt.
You're bankrupt.
Yeah.
But if I really take into account, if I empathically listen to what is alive in you, and also show what is alive in me by expressing what I feel and what I need, and really want to take into account you, I'm always putting some money on your bank account. And in that way, if one day I have a bad day and I'm judging you once, there is no big deal with that, because I have invested so much money on your bank account that you really want to give me with a lot of pleasure, out of your heart, the interest of my investments.
Okay, I hope all these tips will help us put a lot of money on the other's bank account then.
Yeah, well, I really hope it, and I hope that a lot of people can become a bit more giraffe, and that we can it can lead to more connection between human beings when they have a conflict.
Frederik, people can find more information on your website?
Of course, they can surf by making a connection to www.frederikimbo.be.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And you at home, thank you for watching our show. I hope to see you next week.